and welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be going over the Booktube Newbie Tag. Now, I know this is the tag that most people do as their very first video here on Booktube, and I actually did film it and I actually did post it, but looking back at it, the quality was very bad, the audio was very bad, and that was just very awkward. And you know, we believe in second chances on this channel, so I thought, why not go ahead and refilm it and repost it and have it reflect my personality a bit better and reflect my reading style a little bit better, because ultimately that's going to help you know if you want to be subscribed to this channel. So before we begin, don't forget to grab a snack, grab some tea, some coffee, your preferred poison, whatever it may be, and let's get right into it. I started this channel because I want to make more friends who read books, and I want to be able to talk to them about books. I feel like a lot of my current friends don't really read a lot, and I'm sure my boyfriend gets really tired of me always talking to him about books. Although he is a pretty avid reader himself, and a lot of times my boyfriend and I don't really read the same types of books, which is great because then we make each other aware of different books that are available, but then I can't really talk to anyone about the current read that I'm enjoying because he doesn't want to know any spoilers, which is understandable. But I've also been watching Booktube for a while, and I thought it was time for me to come on here and share my perspective and take up space. I feel like this is a difficult question to answer, but one thing that I can think of that anyone can bring to Booktube is their own unique experience and perspective. A lot of us come from different cultures or different upbringings. Some of us are from different countries. Some of my favorite booktubers are from Canada, Britain, and Mexico. So I think just given the fact that we live in different places, we're going to approach the books that we read differently, and we're also going to have accessibility to different types of books, different kinds of authors. So I hope to bring in my own unique perspective on this and also recommend some really cool Latin American authors to you, because I do plan on reading a lot more of them. I think I'm most excited to really just get the ball rolling now that I'm not as awkward and that I feel a little bit more comfortable talking to a camera. I'm just excited to just really show my personality off and really get into the nitty-gritty of books, to discuss things I loved about them as well as things that I hated. And you know, I don't think it's a bad thing to dislike a book or to talk about things that you dislike about a book, because ultimately that's going to help you know if you like the book or if you'll enjoy it. And that's not to say that we need to be rude about the way we approach what we like and don't like, but this is a very subjective thing. Everybody enjoys different things in reading, so I will be giving you my subjective style, and that's why it's important for you to know what books I like to read. I'm also really excited to interact with you more and to hear your thoughts on books and to get recommendations from you that I haven't heard about, because I'm always looking for new books to read. I feel like this question is like asking, why do you like to eat? Personally, but I love reading because it's a way for me to escape into a different world, and it's also a way for me to learn about different cultures or learn about different ideas, which I find fascinating. One of my favorite types of books to read are translated works, and I just love being able to pick one up and compare it to how American life is or how life here in Portland, Oregon is. Another thing that I really love about reading is that there's something out there for everyone. No matter if you like romance, sci-fi, fantasy, literary fiction, you're going to find something out there that's going to engage you and make you just laugh out loud or cry or just engage you. And I find that fascinating, that reading there could be anything for anyone out there with reading, and I just find that so great. I'm not sure what book series, well, I feel like the one book series that really got me into reading is very similar to other people, and it was Harry Potter. I just remember being like very excited about the next release and lining up outside of like Barnes and Nobles and waiting for the next book. But the very first book that got me into reading that was in a series is The Secret Garden. That was my jam. I would reread it every single year, which reminds me, I haven't read it within the past 2 years, so I should probably pick it up again. But that was the very first book that I liked. I don't know why I loved it. I will need to revisit that one. This might sound like a really weird question, but one thing that I would like to ask my favorite booktubers is, how do you manage to keep that fervor for reading new books while also trying to manage creating content? Because I feel like that's something that could potentially clash at some point. At some point, you might yourself finding reading books for a specific video that you want to make, but you might not necessarily enjoy those books, and eventually you could get sidetracked. I just feel like that's something that could potentially happen in the future. So how do you keep that fervor and momentum going for the reading that you specifically like, while also creating content on the side that is appealable to people? And that's one of the things. And another thing is like, another thing that I'd like to ask is like, how do you find your books? Like, where do you find them? Besides Booktube or Reddit or Goodreads, is there any other place that you go to look for books? If so, let me know, because I want to find different ways to find books too. For me, it would be sticking to a regular schedule. I have commitment issues like no other. Yeah, so I think that would be the most difficult thing for me, just sticking and committing to a regular schedule of posting. I just talked about it in my latest video. I'll go ahead and link it down below, but I promised myself that for 2021 I will start posting regularly on Tuesdays and Fridays and stick to that, because lately I haven't really had a posting schedule, but I know it's important for you guys to know. So that's definitely going to be the hardest thing, just because my mood fluctuates. Sometimes I don't feel like reading, sometimes I don't feel like filming, but you know what, that's fine. We're all humans, and I think we should allow ourselves to have that space if we need it, but I'll definitely make sure to let y'all know about it. But I still think that it'll be healthy for me to try to stick to a posting schedule. So I'm going to try to do it, and I know it's going to be hard, but we got this. We got this. I started reading when I was very young, maybe around 6 or 7 years old. That's just one of the things that I would love to do. My mom used to work a lot when I was younger, so she would leave me home alone a lot. And one of the things that I would do is just go to my library. As a 6 or 7 year old, I would walk down to my library and check out a book and then come back and read. And I know this sounds odd now, but I grew up in Mexico, so that wasn't odd then. And I would read a lot of like really like daunting classic books back then, like something that a little kid would normally not pick up. And I would read them in Spanish, which I haven't done in a very long time. I haven't read a book in Spanish in a very long time, which I should. You know, I think I'm going to try to do that in 2021 too. This is one of the places where I read. We're currently in my bedroom, and I always try to read at least 30 to 40 minutes right before bed. So I just sit right here and turn on that light back there and just get swept away with a book. But during the day, when I don't want to come up here, I usually read either outside if it's a nice day. We have a back deck that just like has this gorgeous view of these trees, and I just find that to be super relaxing. That's another place that I read, and if not, in my living room. Really, actually, I read just about anywhere. My nemesis are long lines, and with 2020, there's lines for everything because you have to stay 6 feet apart. So I just end up just bringing my book and just popping it out whenever I have to wait in line or something, because yeah, I don't like lines and I don't like waiting. I'm a very impatient person. That's usually why I read. You know that friend that you have where you ask them, hey, what kind of music do you like? And they're like, I like all music. I feel like that's me, but in book form. I read most books in general. I think the better question for me would be, what don't you read? I don't read a lot of middle grade, and I don't read a lot of children's books. But besides that, I read just about anything. I read YA, sci-fi, fantasy, literary fiction, translated works, and I love them. My favorite types of books are usually translated works, and I love memoirs as well. But lately I've been really getting into science fiction and fantasy, dipping my toe in different categories. This year I actually read my first thriller, my first horror, and my first mystery, and I love them all. So I foresee continuing to read a little bit of everything, with an emphasis on maybe sci-fi and translated works. Specifically for next year, I want to start reading a lot more subgenres within fantasy and science fiction, just to find out what kind of tropes really get me going. Because I know some people love certain kind of tropes, and I want to be like, yes, that's the thing that I love to read, and then find books that fit that trope. So that's one of the things that I want to start doing in 2021. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far, I really appreciate every single one of you that watches my videos, and I hope that we can be friends and discuss books. If you can let me know down below what kind of videos you like to watch. And please never be afraid to give me feedback, because I'm always improving. And I want to be able to make content that you enjoy. So if you're new here again, thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Bye!